Everyone, Russell Westbrook and the Los Angeles Lakers. It's very likely that they are going to depart via trade. The Russell Westbrook has actually signed a new agent in Jeff Schwartz, who is known for buyouts and things like that. And wherever Russell Westbrook goes, he's very likely going to get bought out by a team. But what if a team actually trades for him and wants to keep him, at least to ride it out for the year, to go get him help? Well, what team would that be? What team would be willing to take on Russell Westbrook, clear some salary, and actually keep him and not buy him out? Because most of the trades we've heard of up until this point are teams willing to dump salary and take Russell Westbrook on to basically clear their books. Lakers get some, assets and players, whether it's the Indiana deal or the Knicks deal or the Utah deal, or, they trade for Kyrie and Russell Westbrook goes to like the Spurs and they give them a first and then they just buy out. The thought and consensus is that Russell Westbrook's going to get traded and then bought out and then go sign with another team. But what if another team not only wants his money, but also wants the player? Because that's a big thing. Most teams don't want the player, Russell Westbrook. They want the money that is wiped off the books. Well, one team that comes to mind that actually may be willing to trade for Russell Westbrook as well as be willing to keep him and actually have him play for the team, that team might be the Miami Heat. Now, you might be thinking, no way, why would Miami want Russell Westbrook? Well, Russell Westbrook, out of all things, is a dependable player. He's a guy that has that engine, that motor, that work ethic, a guy that'll play 82 games, a guy that'll be consistent night in and night out as far as showing up. His play might be inconsistent at times, but he's still that dude. He's still a guy that can go out there, get you, 25 to 30 a night, get you a triple-double, stuff like that. He has his flaws. Don't get me wrong. He is not the greatest player ever, but he is a guy that Miami could benefit from, right? Jimmy Butler needs help, whatever it is. And currently on the roster, he doesn't have the help he needs. We just saw that in the Boston series. Jimmy Butler showed absolute incredible heroics for a guy. The guy almost single-handedly carried the Miami Heat to an NBA Finals. He was an in-and-out three-point shot away from sending the Boston Celtics home and being in the finals. And if they would have had a guy like Russell Westbrook who was dependable, who could have just got them, even if he just scored 15 a game during that series, he's a guy that could have hugely helped the Miami Heat beat the Boston Celtics and make it to the NBA Finals. You can't tell me that if Russell Westbrook was on the roster instead of Kyle Lowry, who got injured and was inconsistent the entire playoffs and played terribly in some cases, that if you had Russell Westbrook in his spot, that they wouldn't have beaten the Boston Celtics. Of course they would, because Kyle Lowry was a liability on defense. He wasn't providing on offense. He was essentially just there to be there as a presence. Like, Jimmy Butler single-handedly did everything. And to have a guy like Russell Westbrook who has that competitive drive that Jimmy Butler always wants from players, I think him and Jimmy Butler would probably get along handily. But beyond that, he's a guy that Pat Riley and the organization would love. His just competitive nature, his night in and night out, I'm there, I'm showing up, let's clock in, let's get to work. And again, he has his flaws. He's not the greatest player in the world, but you only have to try to make it work for 1 year. And the difference is Miami is a team where Russell Westbrook could be Russell Westbrook. The reason Russell Westbrook doesn't work on the Lakers is because he can't be Russell Westbrook. You got LeBron James, you got, Anthony Davis, you got a bunch of guys that can't shoot. Miami doesn't have that. Miami has guys that can shoot. They have guys that can play inside and out. They have a little bit of everything on their team. They're also a great defensive team that could mask Russell Westbrook's lack of defense. And Russell Westbrook would provide them a level and layer of offense that they don't have. That just slasher threat that can get to the rim, that can drive and kick, and to get out to the outside shooters, all of those things. A guy that could get to the hoop. Yes, he's frustrating at times. Yes, he's turnover prone at times. Yes, he's inconsistent at times. But so was Miami the whole season, right? And especially in the playoffs. They were turnover prone at times. They were inconsistent at times. They had scoring drought at times. They were the team equivalent of Russell Westbrook. But Jimmy Butler was just so heroic and so great that he was able to carry them round after round and almost took them to the NBA Finals. A guy like Westbrook, I think, would fit great next to Jimmy Butler just because of his competitiveness, his drive, his work ethic, a guy that can be Mr. Reliable, a guy that has been Mr. Reliable his entire career. He would have played 82 games last season. But beyond that, again, if you're Miami, you're not only just taking the player, but you're also wiping your books. So how would you wipe your books? What would this trade look like? Very likely, if it was to be a trade, and I'm not saying this trade is going to happen. I'm not saying this trade should happen. I'm not saying anything like that. Like I said, it's just something that makes sense for Miami as well as the Lakers. And some people might be out there going, no way, it doesn't make any sense. Of course it does. But is it going to happen? Probably not. But if Miami wanted to do this deal, it would have to be something like Kyle Lowry, obviously, Duncan Robinson, and they'd have to give up a guy like Tyler Hero. And you might be thinking, there's no way Miami's giving up Tyler Hero. They're not trading Tyler Hero. It's not going to happen. But if Pat Riley could move off the bad contract that is Duncan Robinson and the bad contract that is Kyle Lowry, I'm pretty confident that he would move off of Tyler Hero. He is not as high on Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero thinks Tyler Hero is a superstar that deserves a max contract and should be the best player on a team. And he's not. He's not a number one option. He's not a guy that's going to lead your team to a championship. He is an excellent sixth man. He might be the best sixth man in the league. But beyond him being just the best sixth man, he's very likely a third option on a contending team. If you have a guy like Luka or something like that is just so much greater than most number one options, then I think Tyler Hero could be a number two option. But I don't think he is anything more than a sixth man or like your third man, something like that. A guy that that isn't going to give you defense but is going to score. Tyler Hero is like a Donovan Mitchell type player. Guy who can give you, 25 a night, night in and night out, but isn't going to play any defense and isn't going to lead you to a championship team. And Pat Riley knows that. Pat Riley very likely isn't going to give Tyler Hero a max contract. And Tyler Hero believes he is worth a max contract and wants a max contract. And I don't see Miami, who is already cap strapped, who already has terrible contracts, saying, you know what? Let's max out Tyler Hero too, for a team that very likely isn't a contender in reality and isn't going to win a championship. Not just that, but Tyler Hero wants to be a starter on this team, and Pat Riley told him no. He told him, you're not going to be a starter until you become a two-way player. Until you get good defensively, you are not starting for this Miami Heat team. You don't think Tyler Hero is going to be happy about that? Tyler Hero very likely is going to want out at some point, whether it's Pat Riley doesn't pay him or Tyler Hero just decides, I'm leaving and I'm not signing that contract and demands a trade or just signs elsewhere or whatever. And I do think Miami sooner or later is going to trade Tyler Hero. Every year, Tyler Hero has been in trade discussions. Every time Miami tries to get another player, the first person mentioned is Tyler Hero. And it's because it's the only player they have of true value. But if you're Miami, this trade makes a lot of sense. You're probably getting the Lakers 2 first-round picks or at least 1 first-round pick because the Lakers are taking back a lot of salary. But they are getting a guy in Tyler Hero, which could be a great third option on the Lakers, right? And you'd have Kyle Lowry. And if Duncan Robinson can be Duncan Robinson and kind of get back to that guy, then you got your shooter. So you'd get your shooter, you'd get your third option, and you'd get Kyle Lowry, who could be that consistent player. He could play on the ball, he could play off the ball, he could be a lot of things. It's a really bad contract. Same thing with Duncan Robinson. But you're getting Tyler Hero, and the Lakers, they need players. They need guys like these guys. If you're Miami, not only are you getting a guy in Russell Westbrook, but yes, you're moving off of a guy in Tyler Hero, which is going to be tough to swallow, but you still have more than enough talent to win. Westbrook is probably going to provide you just as much scoring, if not more, than Tyler Hero provided. So you're not losing that offense there. You get off of all of that salary for the next 4 years, which Miami needs to do. Miami's only getting older. And right now, they are not a contender unless Jimmy Butler scores 40 a game. And how long can he do that for? How consistently can he do that? If he gets a guy at Russell Westbrook who can go and give him 25 night in and night out, then Jimmy Butler no longer has to give 40 points a night. Westbrook can handle a lot of the workload, and Jimmy Butler and him would be a great tandem. I mean, neither of them can really shoot, but it's not like Miami had a ton of great shooters this past year. I mean, Duncan Robinson fell out of the rotation. Kyle Lowry was injured the whole time. Tyler Hero ended up being, benched when he came back from injury. I want to make that clear. He did come back from injury, but still, Miami lost like all of their options. They were very consistent. They were very good because of their defense, their tenacity. They had guys that were very consistent, but nobody on that team was a 20 plus a game, night in and night out player. Tyler Hero had some great scoring moments and is a great scorer, but he's not their starter. He's not a guy that they can count on night in and night out. Russell Westbrook at least will. He will be a guy, and you just cleared your entire salary. So now that gives you two options. Yes, you're losing Tyler Hero, and I understand that, and I'm sure Miami Heat fans right now are like, no way, you don't trade Tyler Hero for Russell Westbrook, but what you're getting in return is essentially a reset button to build a new contender. Because right now, Miami, as much as Miami fans might think so, they aren't a contender. They're not better than Boston. They're not better than Milwaukee. They're probably not better than the Sixers if James Harden can get back to being James Harden. So Miami's the fourth or fifth best team at best in the Eastern Conference. They're not a contender. Boston was the ones that eliminated all of the talent for them. So they were able to work it out. James Harden just didn't show up. So that was very nice for Miami. But my point is that if you get this, you get a guy in Russell Westbrook. And again, I understand some people might not want Russ, but you get a guy that can provide and be that number two guy for Jimmy Butler, that guy that can score, that guy that can assist, that guy that can rebound, the guy that can do everything for Miami. And if it works, great. You can re-sign him to like a $15 million a year deal or whatever. And now he's got a home. If it doesn't work, guess what? You're probably in the same boat you're in right now anyway, and you just cleared all of your salary. There is not another player that is available next season, if you ride it out with this, that is going to be able to wipe all of your books. And Russ is that guy right now. You would be able to move off of Kyle Lowry's bad contract, Duncan Robinson's bad contract, but the Lakers aren't just going to take those two out of the kindness of their heart. So you either have to give up a bunch of draft picks or you have to give up Tyler Hero. And the Lakers aren't going to want those draft picks. They're going to want a guy in Tyler Hero that can help them win now because they're not a rebuilding team. So you give up Tyler Hero to clear your salary books. And now if Russ works, great. Then you can keep Russ. And guess what? You can go sign another guy to go and put around Bam, Russ, and Jimmy Butler. If Russ doesn't work, now you have all of his salary off the books, and now you basically just have Bam and Jimmy Butler, and you could go get a third star or something along those lines. You could go and get, maybe instead of a third star, get two or three like mid-tier guys. And Miami now is immediately, again, another contender. Because Miami right now, as it currently stands, is locked in. The team that they have right now, they have for the next 4 years. And I don't think that team is good enough to win a championship. I just don't think they are. Not unless Jimmy Butler puts up 50 night in and night out. And he's only getting older. Kyle Lowry has been injury prone and he's only getting older. This team is aging themselves out. And at some point they're going to have to make a move. And there's no superstar available that Miami could get right now. But you could go get Russell Westbrook, who is probably the next best thing that could actually work. And you're clearing off all of your salary in order to get him. So if it doesn't work, you get to start from scratch. And Pat Riley gets to build a new team all over again. And hopefully he does it right this time. But as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree with this? How do you feel about this? However you feel, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I just do. I think that this would be fair for all sides. Lakers, yes, they're taking on terrible salaries. They're taking on terrible contracts. But You're getting Tyler Hero, who could be a third option. Kyle Lowry goes from being, the second or third option to being like the fifth or sixth option. Duncan Robinson, if he can get back to even being half of what Duncan Robinson was in the bubble, then that's huge for the Lakers. So the Lakers are getting some quality pieces. They're getting that third scoring option, which they desperately need, in Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero also probably starts for the Lakers, which is what he wants. He's also young enough to where he can be on the team for the long haul. And if you're Miami, yes, you're moving off of Tyler Hero. It sucks, but you just cleared all of your books, and you just got Jimmy Butler, a guy that you know that you can count on. Yes, he's going to have frustrating moments. Yeah, he's going to have moments that you're just like, why did we make this trade? But he gives you a better chance to win a championship with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Strus and Vincent and everyone else you got. Gives you a much better chance than Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, and Duncan Robinson. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson completely fell out of the rotation, and Kyle Lowry was playing on one leg, if that, during the playoffs when you needed him the most. And don't get me wrong, when he was healthy, he was pretty solid for you. But you can see the age. You started to see the decline. And so the Lakers would be doing a huge benefit to Miami, and Miami would be Miami's getting the better end of the deal. If you can get, I know Miami fans think Tyler Hero is the second coming of Michael Jordan. I understand that. But in reality, he's never going to probably be more than the sixth man with Miami. And Pat Riley's not going to pay him, like I said. And you're not going to win a championship with the team currently constructed. So Miami is winning the deal because you're basically trading a sixth man for a guy who's going to be a starter, can actually help you win and be more beneficial. And on top of that, clears all your books in salary the next year. If it works, great. Then you run it back and you pay him a cheaper deal in order to go get other guys. If it doesn't work, you just send him on his way and all is right in the world again. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.